All right, here's a stat that stopped me cold when I found it. A single large pepperoni pizza from most major Canadian chains contains somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 milligrams of sodium. Health Canada says you should eat no more than 2,300 milligrams in an entire day. So if you split one pizza with a friend on a Friday night, just the pizza, no garlic bread, no pop, no dipping sauce, you've already blown past your daily limit before you finished eating. And this isn't some accident of recipe design. Sodium is cheap. It makes mediocre ingredients taste better. It triggers cravings that bring you back for more. The less a chain spends on quality, the more salt they dump in to compensate. I spent way too long digging through nutrition guides, ingredient lists, ownership records, and some lawsuits that never really made headlines. What I found is that 5 of Canada's biggest pizza chains are doing this to us on purpose, and 2 chains are actually trying to do things differently. Let's break it down. Before we get into the individual chains, you need to understand why this matters beyond just one pizza night. Researchers at Université Laval published a study looking at pizzas sold across Canada. Their conclusion? Pizza is one of the single biggest sources of sodium and saturated fat in the Canadian diet. And despite years of public commitments from these chains to reduce sodium, the numbers have barely moved. The Heart and Stroke Foundation has been pretty clear about what excess sodium does to your body. It drives up blood pressure. High blood pressure leads to heart attacks and strokes, which happen to be Canada's leading causes of death. For kids who are eating pizza every week at birthday parties and after hockey games, their taste buds are literally being trained to expect this level of salt. The habits they build now stick with them. Okay, let's talk about who's doing this the worst. Number 5. Little Caesars. The whole pitch here is simplicity. Hot and ready. Walk in, grab a box, walk out, $5. Done. And look, for what it is, Little Caesars delivers on that promise. But here's what hot and ready actually requires. To have pizzas sitting there waiting for you all day, they have to make them hours ahead of time. That pizza you're grabbing at 6 p.m. might have been pulled from the oven at 2 p.m., 4 hours under a heat lamp. Fresh pizza doesn't hold up well. The crust goes soggy, the cheese gets that weird rubbery texture, the sauce loses whatever flavor it had. So to keep it tasting like something after sitting there for hours, they compensate with more salt, more seasoning, more sodium. 2 slices of a large pepperoni hot and ready, over 1,000 milligrams of sodium. And let's be honest, nobody eats 2 slices. You eat 3, 4, maybe you and a buddy demolish the whole thing over a hockey game. Little Caesars is owned by Illich Holdings, a Detroit-based corporation. They're pulling in billions selling you pizza that's been sitting under a heat lamp since lunch. Number 4, Pizza Hut. This one's kind of sad actually. Pizza Hut used to be the pizza night destination. Stuffed crust, those red plastic cups, the lunch buffet, birthday parties and those vinyl booths. If you grew up in the 90s, you remember. Here's what happened. Pizza Hut is owned by Yum Brands, the same American corporation that runs KFC and Taco Bell. And as of late 2024, Yum Brands announced they're considering selling Pizza Hut entirely. The chain is struggling badly enough that its own parent company might just walk away from it. In July 2024, one of their major US franchisees filed for bankruptcy. 140 locations closed overnight. And in Canada, a class action lawsuit was filed, alleging Pizza Hut failed to properly compensate their delivery drivers. Now look at the food itself. One slice of Pizza Hut's Supreme Pizza, just one slice, contains over 700 milligrams of sodium. That's nearly a third of your entire daily limit in a single slice. Eat 3 slices, which is pretty normal, and you're done for the day. They also quietly eliminated the dine-in buffet model across Canada by late 2024. That whole experience Canadians grew up with? Gone. What's left is a delivery chain with high prices, massive sodium content, a struggling parent company, and ongoing legal issues over how they pay their drivers. Number 3, Domino's. Over 500 locations across Canada. Slick app. That GPS tracker so you can watch your pizza crawl toward your house. Domino's has done a better job than almost anyone at making ordering feel seamless and modern. But let's look past the app for a second. Domino's is headquartered in Ann Arbor, Michigan. In early 2025, they announced closures of over 200 stores worldwide. Not specifically in Canada, but a global company cutting hundreds of locations isn't exactly a company firing on all cylinders. Now pull up their Canadian nutrition guide. It's publicly available. Look at the ingredient list. Sodium phosphate, sodium erythorbate, sodium nitrate, sodium benzoate, calcium disodium EDTA. That's 5 separate sodium compounds across one pizza. The sodium isn't just coming from a salt shaker. It's baked into the meat, the sauce, the cheese, and the dough conditioners. A large Domino's Philly cheesesteak pizza clocks in around 3,200 milligrams of sodium for the whole pie. Split that between 2 people, and you're each getting 1,600 milligrams, about 70% of your daily limit before you've touched the breadsticks. And the dough? Read the label. Sodium stearoyl lactylate, sorbitan monostearate. These are industrial dough softeners, chemicals that make mass-produced dough feel fresh even when it isn't. The app is great, the pizza is industrial. Number 2, Boston Pizza. Wait, this is a Canadian chain. Founded in Edmonton in 1964, over 400 locations, more than $1 billion in Canadian sales every year. So why is it on this list? Because the numbers are genuinely alarming. A large pepperoni pizza split between 2 people, let's say 2 to 3 slices each. 2 slices per person hits over 1,200 milligrams of sodium. Add a piece of garlic toast, that's another 400 milligrams. Order a Caesar salad because it sounds healthy, another 900 milligrams. And that's before anyone ordered wings or dessert. Boston Pizza markets itself as a step above fast food. Sit-down experience, family restaurant. But Canadian researchers found that casual dining pizza chains have nearly identical sodium levels to fast food chains. The nicer table doesn't change what's in the food, and you're paying significantly more for it. A meal for a family of 4 at Boston Pizza runs $80 to $100 with drinks. Over $1 billion in annual sales, but the sodium content matches the drive-thru. Number 1, Pizza Pizza. This is the one that actually hurt to research. That orange logo is on nearly every corner in Ontario. Founded in Toronto in 1967, one of the only chains that feels genuinely, authentically Canadian. A large classic pepperoni pizza from Pizza Pizza has 8 slices. 2 slices, a pretty normal serving for one person, contains around 1,100 milligrams of sodium. That's almost half your daily limit in what most people would consider a moderate portion. 3 slices and you're at 70%. 4 slices and you've exceeded your daily limit from the pizza alone. Look at their ingredient list. The crust contains sodium stearoyl lactylate, calcium propionate, and modified cornstarch. Industrial preservatives and dough conditioners, the same stuff used to make mass-produced bread last longer and feel softer than it should. Pizza Pizza built their whole brand on value. Remember that walk-in special campaign? An extra large 4-topping pizza for $17.99. Canadians loved it. They sold over 2 million of those pizzas. But here's the thing. When you're selling a large pizza for under $18 in 2024, something has to give. You're not using premium mozzarella. You're not sourcing top quality tomatoes. You're using industrial ingredients and adding enough sodium to make them taste like something. Pizza Pizza does around $500 million in annual system-wide sales. They're a genuine Canadian success story. But success at that scale requires industrial production. Industrial production means industrial ingredients. Industrial ingredients mean industrial sodium levels. The chain most Canadians think of as their pizza is also putting the most sodium on their tables week after week. Okay, enough doom, let's talk about who's actually doing this right. Panago Pizza. Founded in 1986 in Abbotsford, British Columbia, nearly 200 locations across Canada. Here's what makes Panago genuinely different from every chain I just covered. No artificial colors, no artificial flavors, no artificial preservatives. Those three commitments alone eliminate a massive amount of the chemical additives baked into other chains' dough and toppings. Panago makes their dough fresh in-house at each location. This isn't marketing speak. It's why the crust actually tastes different when you compare it side by side. Fresh dough doesn't need the same chemical preservatives that mass-produced dough requires. That means less sodium from dough conditioners alone. They also offer real mozzarella, vegan cheese options, gluten-smart crusts, and plant-based proteins. Google ratings for Panago across Canada average higher than Pizza, Domino's, and Pizza Hut. A large pizza runs $20 to $24, a bit more than the big chains. But you're paying for ingredients that are actually ingredients, not industrial substitutes held together with sodium. Pizza Nova. Toronto-born since 1963. Founded by Sam Premucci, who immigrated from Italy. Over 150 locations, mostly in Ontario, and still family-owned after more than 60 years. Pizza Nova makes their dough fresh daily. Real ingredients, not industrial substitutes. They also offer halal-certified menu options, which makes them accessible to more communities than most chains bother to serve. Google ratings for Pizza Nova are consistently among the highest of any pizza chain in Canada. Are their sodium levels perfect? No, it's still pizza. But the gap between Pizza Nova and Pizza when it comes to ingredient quality, freshness, and care is real. You can taste it. 60 years of family ownership. Fresh dough daily. Actual Italian-style ingredients. If you're in Ontario and want chain pizza that respects the food, Pizza Nova is the answer. 5 chains to think twice about. 2 that are actually worth your money. If you're ordering pizza tonight, look for Panago or Pizza Nova. If neither is near you, honestly, make it at home. Basic pizza dough takes maybe 20 minutes to throw together. You control everything that goes into it. Pizza itself isn't the problem. These chains are. Canada's pizza industry is worth billions of dollars. 5 of the biggest players are loading your food with sodium and industrial ingredients while spending millions on advertising so you never think to question it. Now you know. Here's my question for you. What's your go-to pizza spot? Is it one of the chains I just roasted? Or have you found somewhere local that actually does it right? Drop it in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what people are ordering. If you found this useful, subscribe. I've got more Canadian food investigations coming, and some of them are going to make this one look tame. Pizza night should be something you actually feel good about, not something that quietly works against you every single week.